my friends, it's Lisa here from Arcane Stellar. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad that you're here today. So in this reading, we are going to be looking at who you made an impact on and why. What was the impact that you left behind? The thing is that I was having a conversation with a subscriber slash friend, Ashutosh, and we were discussing about how sometimes, in soul contracts as an example, specifically is kind of where the conversation started from, but how sometimes we leave a bigger impact than we might realize, you know what I mean? And have you ever had that where maybe somebody said something to you that just stuck with you forever, even if you're no longer in contact, and it could have been something so silly and minor as an example. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like, I want to see who you made an impact on, and then what was that impact made, and whatever kind of comes through with that topic. So we have 4 different groups here. We have group number 1 with orange calcite, group number 2 with dendritic opal, group number 3 with halite, group number 4 is serpentine. So those are the stones on here. The timestamps will be down below as always. And I do want to say a really big thank you to Teresa. Teresa got me the Wizard's Tarot. She always gets me beautiful decks, and this is just a beautiful one I think I'm going to really love. I'm using it in this reading, so you guys will get to see a peek of it. And as always, I always put all the time the links down to any of the decks I'm using, so that you guys can find them for yourselves if you want. Most of them are Amazon affiliate links unless I bought them somewhere else, like through Kickstarter or Etsy or something like that. So anyway, I hope that this reading helps give you some insight. I'm curious to hear what you guys think, so be sure to leave a comment and let me know which group you chose, or what, how it resonated with you, if you know who the person is. So anyways, as I said, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello my friends, so you chose group number 1 here with this big orange calcite I have. So this is the reading for you, and let's find out who you've had an impact on. So let's just set that over there and get started. So we have the 3 of Cups here, signifying who this is. So this tells us that whoever you left a big impact on was a friend. It was somebody in a friendship group. Probably at some point you were very close to this person or had a pretty good relationship, like a fun relationship. To me, 3 of Cups is really more focused on friendship. So I do feel like this is a friend, signifying a friend. We also have what impact you left on him. We have the 5 of Cups, the letter, and the crossroads. We also have Medusa and the Desert Prince. So here we have an interesting story. It seems to me like you guys had a friend in your life at one point that you left an impact on in terms of sadness, regret, remorse. I have quite a good feeling that a lot of you at some point had a friendship that went sour. And that friendship, like in the end of the friendship, and probably something you said specifically, because we have the letter and the crossroads. It's almost like, it feels like some of you actually told this person why you were moving on and what they needed to do to change. Okay, because the crossroads indicates some sort of choice that could have been made, or a path to follow. Maybe perhaps you gave this person multiple chances. We have Medusa here, which says jealousy leads to downfall. So I have a good feeling that a lot of you had maybe a jealous friend that was kind of salty towards you, or had, I don't know, maybe there were jealous tendencies on their part, or perhaps they acted in a way that denotes jealousy. Like sometimes people will be kind of hateful and rude, and it's just because they kind of have a jealous streak. You know what I'm saying? It feels like that. We also have the Desert Prince, and it says survival and false promises. So again, perhaps this is somebody that did whatever they could to get by, as an example. I look at this card and I think of like how sometimes people become like rough as a means of living, maybe they get rough with other people, or they kind of do what they can to survive. And sometimes that can be taking other people down, or I don't know, there's some kind of vibe there. With false promises, again, it could have been somebody who was a bit of a liar or very unreliable as well. And perhaps you gave this person a lot of chances when it came to unreliability, or, and these kind of toxic, I feel like this was just probably a toxic friendship, essentially, is what we're getting here. And it feels like, what was the impact that you left on them? An impact of sadness. They probably lost your friendship, and it made them feel sadness, essentially, and remorse. They have regret. You know, the Five of Cups to me is about regret, remorse, and feeling down and out. And so essentially you left kind of a sad impact on them. I think that they probably miss the friendship. They probably see some of the errors of their ways, although not always so, because there is a little bit of that Five of Cups of not seeing the bright side. Usually there's that kind of connotation there because some of the cups are full, but they're not looking at them. So it might be that this person kind of looks on the dark side rather than the light side of the situation. And again, maybe they're not fully seeing how they could have been different as well. So for some of you, this person might be in pity party, you know, pity party mode, and only seeing you as maybe perhaps the wrong one. I'm just going to be honest here, but I do think that there is a sense of regret and remorse at having lost a friendship. Again, with that letter in Crossroads, letter indicates some sort of communication. So a communication that provides a choice, and it's almost like you gave them a chance and they blew it once again, I feel like, for a lot of you. Now, of course, maybe for some of you this came back around. I don't really see cards that indicate that, but maybe for some of you that's the case. And maybe they learned their lesson. You guys will know that if that's you. If you had a friendship that was quite toxic, but then they finally turned it around after you communicated your feelings. Well, then surely you made an impact on them in that way and made them turn around. But I feel like for a lot of you, this person probably hasn't. And yeah, I think that's really like one of the people that you've made a huge impact on. There are many different people, so you might be drawn to other groups too, but it does feel like this one in particular is coming through for you, a friend that was lost and essentially probably had quite a few chances to change and did not do that. There also could be, of course, some kind of regrets or remorse around a letter that was sent or some kind of communication that was given as well. Maybe they responded in a way that was false, right? Maybe they didn't mean what they said and now they have to kind of live with it as well. Maybe you made them live with it. You know what I'm saying? So that is what I've got for you guys. This is such a short reading. I might actually pull a little bit more in this because I feel like this was so quick. So quick and straightforward. Maybe I should have just done more groups. Let's see here. Anything else about the situation? Hold on. I'm trying to get my cards here. I'm going to use my spread machine oracle. So anything else about this situation that group number one needs to be aware of? Hopefully for some of you, you're able to turn this person's world around. Luck. What opportunities and joyful surprises are in store for you? What can you do to align yourself with the energies of luck? Interesting. So light work card. Ego. What are the false and problematic beliefs that you have about yourself and the world? What are the perceptions of yourself that are not aligned with the truth of who you are? That's quite interesting. So luck and ego. It's almost like maybe this was somebody who never was told no, who maybe just got by doing shit that was not appropriate, right? Because sometimes when people are really happy-go-lucky, they can be quite hurtful to other people. Like they just don't see the error of their ways, and then they have to learn the hard way. Because maybe, like, you know, they would do shit to people, and then nobody would say anything. You know what I mean? Or they just kind of let it slide as an example, and it feels like maybe you were that person who said, and then it's hurt their ego, essentially. You know what I mean? Adjust. To tweak or modify, to reconfigure for better results, to make minor changes or updates, to change course and recalculate the route. So here we have, for some of you, confirming that there has been an adjustment on this person. They might have learned not to act this way. Now, that doesn't mean, maybe for some of you they're in your life and some of you that's not. This is a general reading, of course, but it feels like you have had some sort of impact on this person to adjust their behavior. So that's good news. Whatever kind of happened between the two of you, it feels like this person's realized that they need to modify that behavior or tweak it, right, to configure it in order to make changes to themselves that would maybe make better results for themselves. So that's quite interesting too, because at Crossroads, it's like they have a choice of how they're going to behave. You know what I mean? So I like that energy here. So I just feel like the impact you made was for them to adjust themselves. So that's very positive. So that is what I'm getting for those of you that chose group number 1. This was an interesting reading. I might do this again in the future if you guys like this reading, and maybe do more groups or something like that too, because there are so many different people we've impacted in our lives, you know, even if it was just small and somebody in like 2nd grade, or, you know, in grade school or something, or maybe even someone we saw on the street as an example, you know, and we gave them something that really helped them. We never know what our lasting impact can be on someone. So I think this is a fun, curious reading. And I think it also can encourage us to be more authentic to ourselves and to connect with people. So anyways, I hope that this reading was helpful. Let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments if you want to, of course. And liking, subscribing also is helpful. But anyways, I wish you guys a blessed day. Take care of yourselves. Hello, group number 2. So you chose this dendritic opal. This is one of my favorite stones. Isn't it a beauty? It really is. It's just got a lot of beautiful patterning in it. So let's see. Who have you left an impact on? What was the impact? Okay. So let's see. Oof. Okay, we have the Tower here as who? So this is a person going through a crisis. This is a person whose life is falling apart. This is a person who's having great difficulty. Okay? This also could be somebody who's quite self-destructive as well. So let's see what else comes out. The Tower, of course, could be a Scorpio energy. I'll point that out. But it doesn't have to be a Scorpio, okay? But it does represent sort of a destructive tendency, or somebody who is having their life in shambles, essentially. Now, what was your impact on them? Well, we have the Chariot. So in some way, you brought forward movement for them. So you probably brought them out of a dark place, essentially, is what I'm getting. We have the Man in the Heart. So this is about touching someone's heart. For a lot of you, this is a masculine. Okay, now we also have the Moon. You will be guided through darkness. So your impact that you left on somebody was actually guiding someone through probably one of the roughest times of their life, or bringing them out of a state of chaos, essentially, into a place of love. Okay, we also have the Winged Wise Ones. Angelic help, miraculous aid. So it almost feels like this was a destined, heaven-sent connection. You know, when I was shuffling the cards, for some of you, and I'm going to just share one thing really quick, just in case it resonates with somebody, but like, you know, I was talking about my father, my adoptive father earlier, and in fact, when, you know, he adopted me, he totally changed his life around. He had been actually in prison at one point. He was quite a ruffian, and when I came into his life, I have my Saturn on his Sun, he has his Saturn on my Mercury, my Venus, and my Moon, and we also have North Node contacts and stuff like that, and it was very much felt like a destined relationship, and I did really turn his life around. He became a different person when I came into his life, you know what I mean? So it can also go for like any kind of relationship, you see what I'm saying? It feels like in some way you brought this person out of some sort of destructive life, essentially, whether it was self-destruction or maybe just a tough time, a rough time in their life. We have that, the Moon, you will be guided through the darkness. So you like took this person through a dark time in their life, even if you didn't realize it. A lot of people, we don't even realize what they're going through, and somehow, you know, even if we're just there to say hello to them at the grocery store, you know what I mean, you never know if that's really impactful. I've had those moments myself where I was feeling like you know, a hurricane of grief inside of me, and then somebody did something really nice to me and I remembered it for the rest of my life, you know. So it feels like that kind of situation. So for some of you, this could have been almost like an angelic help, like you stopped and gave someone money that was homeless, as an example, and going through a really rough time. This could be, you know, somebody that, you know, there was a time actually when I was very poor. I had no money, and my daughter, I didn't have anything to get her for Christmas. And one of these girls at my school actually gave her Christmas gifts, and that was honestly one of the only things she got for Christmas that year, because I was so destitute, poor, you know what I mean? And I always will remember that. And you know what I mean, even though we didn't stay friends for forever, we weren't super close, but that action, you know, that action of kindness was actually a really bright spot in my world, and she probably didn't even realize what she was doing, you know what I mean? So that's this is the kind of energy. That's why I'm bringing up these things, because these are the kinds of energies I'm getting, that you really gave somebody something, a way forward through something that was quite dark in their life. Or like I said, maybe it was self-destructive habits for some of you, and it felt like and I do believe that a lot of you were divinely placed in this person's life, actually. It was kind of like you were an angel for them, or you were sent by angels to them, that sort of type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? So very, very beautiful energy. A lot of you probably have a very good heart space and are very loving people who like to kind of offer what you can to people, and this has left an impact on somebody. So let's see, any other information for group number 2? Self-care and commit. And karma. Wow. Oh my gosh. So first of all, with karma, I feel like, first of all, I'm going to read the message of this card, but this feels like someone who is breaking karmic cycles. But it also feels like to me that you actually gain some sort of karma out of this. That this karma is going to come back to you in the future, as an example. So when you help someone, it comes back to you. Let's see. So it says karma. What are the recurring lessons that you need to work through and break free from? How can you transcend your fate and create your own destiny? Bam. See, you help this person actually break out of a karmic cycle. So whatever you did for them, whether it was an act of kindness or just the support that they needed, it's like you got them to get out of this karmic cycle that they were in, where they were this is shadow work card. So there we're going through, definitely we're getting strong shadow shadow stuff going on in their life. And then we get commit. So it's like they get out of this cycle and they commit to a better one. They commit to a path of success. This is a success card. And it says to dedicate, to devote, or pledge yourself to persist, to not give up or give in, to choose something fully. Wow. I love this, guys. This is probably my favorite one so far. I think this might be my favorite one out of all of them. We have self-care, and it says, what can you do to nurture your mind, body, and spirit, your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being? For some of you, you might even got somebody out of a really destructive cycle of maybe self-harm as well, or encourage them out of that, right? To take care of themselves better, to think about themselves more in some way, or show them that they can be cared for. But yeah, this is a legacy you left for somebody. So this is what they'll remember you for, and you'll stick in their mind forever for whatever you've done, because it's helped them break out of some sort of cycle and commit themselves to taking care of themselves better, and loving themselves more, as an example, or at least respecting themselves more and not doing destructive things to themselves. You know what I mean? So very beautiful energy, guys. Oh, I love this. I feel like I'm just going to take one card for you guys. I just feel like this group needs it. Hold on. I want to take one of these for you. Melissa got me this deck, Angels, Gods, and Goddesses, and I really love it. And actually, I lost it in my... Not lost it. I took it with me to Iowa when my sister passed away. And I left it in my bag, and then I rediscovered it because I kind of had never unpacked my bags, I guess, fully. So what's a message for group number 2 right now? I feel like they need one. Whoop, we got one. Angel of prayer. Okay, let's see. Ask the universe and the angels for help and guidance. Wow, and maybe this signifies that this person prayed for somebody like you, that they were praying for help or something like that. Again, there's kind of this angelic kind of force here. Let's see. It says, you are never alone, nor do you need to tackle or solve everything on your own. The universe, God, Goddess, and angels are always listening. All you need to do is ask for help and guidance. Prayer does not need to be formal or structured, as has been the tradition for so long in many religions. You may converse with the universe, God, Goddess, the angels, ascended masters, and all beings of light and love in your own language and in your own way. The universal power is your loving friend. The pure essence of creation responds immediately to all your requests. However, due to universal law of choice, it will not act or intervene unless it is asked to do so. Discuss the current issue along with any other fear or concern you may have with the angel of prayer. So that's interesting. Maybe for some of you, there's just a message here for you to remember to reach out through asking for help. And there's that. But again, I feel like this person, I think this kind of also signifies that whoever you impacted was kind of praying for something or someone like you. That sort of deal. Like maybe you were an answered prayer for them in some way. So very, very beautiful. And I wish you all the very, very best. Take care of yourselves. And let me know what you thought of this reading. Please leave a comment down below and let me know if you know who this is or you have any idea. So lots of love to you guys. Take care, and I will see you all in the next reading. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 3 here with this halite, this is your reading. So beautiful halite. This is a pretty one. I need to like dust it though. I think it looks a little bit dusty. Okay. It's kind of a hard one to dust because the surface is kind of rough. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the reading and find out who you've left a lasting impact on. So we have Temperance here. Temperance can signify a Sagittarius, but it can also talk about somebody who's very balanced, moderate, conservative, peaceful, that type of person. This also, you know, I almost feel like for some of you, this person might be past for some of you. I feel like that's just a message there from, like, I'm gonna talk about. I don't know, like one that I'm kind of intuitively getting rather than the meaning of the card. We have the Ten of Wands here as well. So what impact did you have? Well, we have some sort of burden. Let's see. We have Dog and Tower. And we have the Talisman. You are destined to succeed. As well as Sisters of the Seasons, Cycles of Growth, Natural Law, Divine Order. I see a sense of progression here. We have 17, 18, 19. No way, huh? So we definitely have some sense of progression that you brought to this person. So growth. And that makes sense with cycles of growth here too. Sisters of the Seasons makes me feel like this was an impact that was made seasonally. So it feels as if this is something that passed, like, if it didn't pass from your, like this person didn't pass from your life, it may be that this person was only in your life for a period of time. So you know how we have like maybe a summertime friend, or you know that kind of person who's around at work for just 6 months and then they go on and they move on with their life. This is the energy I am getting. Somebody who hasn't stayed in your life fully. You know what I mean? Like not somebody you know anymore, essentially. So it does feel like you have brought this person some sense of understanding perhaps their purpose in life and also perhaps their destiny. You may have also actually solved a problem for them at work. You know what I want to say for some of you what this is? And this is just like, this hit me like actually when I was, you know, shuffling the cards before of the reading. I feel like for a lot of you, this is maybe a previous employer who has never found anyone to replace you. Or maybe you somehow impacted their work in some way. Like maybe you brought some sort of growth to it or a boost to it, is what I'm getting. Or some change there as well. Like maybe changing old habits, old patterns is what I'm feeling there. But certainly I do feel like a lot of you have impacted this person's success in some way, or their desire to succeed. It could also be their loyalty to some kind of job as an example, or loyalty to a task, like maybe helping them get through something and complete it as an example. So this could be, you know, to be honest, this could be as silly as you helped an old woman, you know, carry her groceries in. Literally. You know what I mean? Seriously. Or you help someone cross the road and they always remember that nice person who did that. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm getting. For some of you, it could be as simple as that. For others of you, this might be a previous, like I said, employer or place of work that had some sort of lasting impact from your, you know, appearance there or your place there. Like maybe you helped drive this person's business forward, or you helped change how they looked at, like, future employees as an example. Like, well, so-and-so did this way and I liked the way they did that, you know, that kind of thing. That's what I'm feeling. So anything else for group number 3 in regards to this impact that they've left? Fear. What are you afraid of? What do you perceive to be the worst case scenario? What are you desperately trying to avoid and fight against right now? Interesting. So there might have been something fearful here in this person. Let's see. Align. And integrate. Interesting. So we have fear, align, and integrate. So fear, obviously, could talk about that you impacted this person and how they face their fears and how they perhaps deal with these things. Okay. With the Ten of Wands, of course, this could have been somebody who was holding on to something they were afraid to let go of, or they were afraid to move forward on because perhaps it was quite heavy and they were afraid to lose their progress in some way. With a line here, or maybe they're afraid to let somebody in or let somebody else have control in a situation, right? Some people, like myself, I can even be like that. I'll take everything on my shoulders because I'm so afraid of, like, letting other people help me. I can be like that myself. So it could have been like somebody like that. Maybe they normally, wouldn't have let you do this. Like, oh no, I have to kind of do everything. I can't trust anybody else to do this, that sort of thing. And then we have align and integrate. So what happened here is that you had an impact on how they aligned with, first of all, their truth, right? And their course in life, right? And then also to integrate something into their life, processing, expansion. So this is about how to make themselves more successful, how to integrate with themselves. Maybe for some of you, you got this person towards higher aspirations. Like perhaps this person was working a dead-end job that they hated, and you kind of put a bug in their ear and they actually shifted to go towards something that they really wanted to do. Like you said, hey, you could do this, you could do that. And then they're like, oh, really? Wow. That sort of thing. Like, and then they did it. That's what I feel like. So some of you might have had an impact on someone's major, on them going back to school. Again, maybe a business owner changing their tactics or something like that, or some environment of in a work environment where they changed things and maybe brought in new things. Maybe there was a fear of change. So this could be helping like a business make a website for some of you. I mean, take it as it resonates. There are a lot of people watching, so I'm sorry if this isn't specific, but the purpose of these readings is for you to kind of connect it yourself through your intuition. You're going to know when I say these things who this is. You're like, okay, yeah, I know what this is. You know what I mean? And that's going to be your answer anyways. But yeah, that is what I'm getting. And it feels like, again, with that Sisters of the Season, there's a kinship here. And I feel like for a lot of you, this was part of destiny, essentially, that you were guided. Even with Temperance here, it might have been angelically guided, like kind of like group number 2, but in a different way. That was a different reading, but kind of similar in the fact that it could have very much been something that was destined to happen. Because not only do we have the destined to succeed with the talisman, and talismans, what are they used for? They're used for protection, for success. We use them as symbolisms, kind of, and it's almost like you brought some sort of like symbolism to them in their life, in a way that they've kind of kept with them as like an amulet of some kind. Like they kind of remember your words, or they remember your encouragement, that sort of thing. So that is what I'm feeling here for those of you that chose group number 3. This was an interesting reading. I'm so curious to hear what you guys have to say about this one. I'd love to hear but down below in the comments. But thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next reading. Bye-bye. Okay, hello my friends. If you chose group number 4, and last but not least, you've got the Serpentine. One of my favorites too. So, I love green. Green's my favorite color. So, and especially this color of green's really pretty. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and get started on your reading. There we go. So, who have you left a lasting impact on? And what was that impact? So let's see what comes up here. So we have the Lovers as who? So this is this was a love connection. This was a partnership of some kind where you left a lasting impact on this person. So probably maybe this was somebody you connected to romantically in some way, whether you were in a relationship or not. Of course, with the Lovers, this could indicate some sort of committed partnership that existed, but also it could have been one that was almost there as well. Especially because I just can't help but notice his hand almost getting that apple in her hands. Almost. So for some of you, this might have been an almost connection. And I feel like for some of you, this might have been one in which there was a lot of passion on one person's part, but this need for stability on another person's part. I wonder if that had something to do with it, but that's just my intuition speaking. Let's go forward and see. So we have, what was your impact on them? The Four of Cups. Well, that's an interesting impact to have on somebody. Let me pull out the rest of the cards. Birds and anchor. I'm not going to say this. I remember when I first made my channel, I completely screwed up this word, and somebody actually helped me on that, and I remember that, but I don't remember how she told me to pronounce it. And every time I see that card, I always think of her. So she left an impact on me. Unfortunately, I cannot remember how to say that word. Chimera, maybe. I think I said chimera. Like, really. Sometimes my pronunciation skills are just awesome. But anyways, she left an impact on me because she actually told me how to pronounce it correctly, and every time I see that card, I think of her. So I don't know if she still watches my videos, but anyway, we have imagination clouds your judgment. And then we have the spiral dancer, circuitous route, and perception. Weirdly enough, we have 6, 4, 5. So 4, 5, 6. So this definitely had something to do with the growth of this person and how they've developed, is one thing I'm getting. We have perhaps this person not perceiving other relationships or connections the same way that they perceived yours. So I have a good feeling that this person doesn't settle down after they've been with you, is what I'm feeling for the most of you. I feel like this person, in fact, probably has had many offers of love, but has found nothing that compares to you, is what I'm feeling for the group. For the most of you, this is a love partnership or a romantic interest or somebody you affected romantically that is uninterested in anybody else. Like, they can't form connections with other people. Like, they can't really even settle down. Even the birds talks about kind of this chitter chatter, kind of like fast chatter and nervous chatter. And then there's the anchor. It's like stable. They can't ever talk to anyone like they could talk to you. They can't ever be with anyone like they were with you, is what I'm feeling here. Now, interestingly enough, with imagination clouds your judgment, perhaps again, this is like their own kind of imagination running away with them. Maybe again, they're kind of stuck in, okay, so with the spiral, we can see that imagery of like a cycle. And it might be that this person's just stuck on you. Like, they can't ever kind of let go of this, or they haven't thus far, because you left such a great impact on them. Perhaps also, for some of you, this was somebody who rejected you and is now facing some sort of karma by not being able to kind of keep a connection. Oh, that might be the case as well. So let's see. But either way, this is romantic. So this is either somebody who had romantic feelings for you at one point. You had romantic feelings for, I think probably it was mutual, like I said. I do feel like, though, for some of you, perhaps it never got off the ground, like I had said. Maybe for some of you, you even wonder if this was all in your imagination, this connection. Okay, anything else for group number 4 in regards to this person and this impact? Oh, geez Louise. I don't take that many cards. That's ridiculous. No. Okay, there we go. Innovate. Wow, I get it. You know what I want to say? This person, it's like they keep going back and redreaming how they could have done it. And perhaps they weren't sure if they saw things clearly at the time as well, with the imagination clouds your judgment. For some of you, this might be been a missed opportunity on somebody's part. Like, they missed an opportunity with you and now they kind of really regret it. Is what I'm getting. And to be honest, to invent, to make changes, to launch, to initiate something new with the innovate, I get the feeling that this person goes over and over in their head about how they could have redone things. Like, I should have said that, or I should have done that, or I should have, could have, would have. You know what I mean? Should have, could have, would have. And they think about it quite a lot, but they don't actually do anything about it, I don't think, with the 4 of Cups. Integrate. Seriously. So innovate and integrate, to combine, to make whole. They wish they would have like done something differently in terms of the connection, like they would have come together. That's so funny I said that, because intuitively I was feeling almost like this was a misconnection. I feel like for a lot of you, I would say probably, I want to say 80% of you, this was actually a missed connection. Or one that never really got off the ground. Like there was attraction on both sides, but it never really got anywhere. And this person kind of focuses on how it could have been, what they wish they would have done to integrate it. They wish they would have said something, asked you out, done something. And then we have balance, to stabilize, to return to the now, to find equilibrium and harmony. Yep, yeah, right there, balance. They wish they would have like kind of handled it better. I feel like for some of you that this might have been a person, maybe for some of you made a move on them and they kind of rejected it, or again, they maybe missed out on an opportunity with you. But it's like now that was a thing. You also might have taught them about how to act in connections as well. Like you gave them a different perception. With the spiral dancer, it obviously with this, we think of like someone spiraling. That word comes to my mind. Spiraling is like, when somebody's going completely nuts. It might have been that they spiraled about this. Like, you know what I mean? Like literally, like they kind of spiraled their life out of control a little bit. It made them think a lot. And I feel like this person's got pretty much up in the head about the situation. Anything else here? But it did provide some sort of growth, I do feel. And this might have been a pattern, that this person was doing. They kind of did this kind of shit. And yeah. Purpose. What is your North Star, your calling? What drives you and inspires you? What do you allow to guide your actions? What gives life meaning? Well, that's fascinating. So, there's a song that comes to my mind that may resonate with some of you. It's Right Down the Line by Jeffrey Rafferty. It's an old cheesy song. Sometimes I come up with I have a really wide music selection, okay? But anyways, that song, and there's a line in there. It says, "You've been as constant as a northern star." So it almost feels like maybe there was like that particular thing came to me. So it feels like maybe maybe you were in this person's life and they never took it up or something like that. But also I feel like maybe again you gave this person an idea of what reality is and what they need to do to work towards something. This might be also like a flitty energy, like flitty, like a bird, a flitty energy that's become more grounded because of you as well. So maybe if they were kind of, fluttering all over the place, not really making any choices or not really acting upon purpose, it's like you made this person kind of figure out that they have to kind of act on their, on their desires, or they have to kind of, you know what I mean? They can blow it if they don't. Anything else? I think I want one more card. Anything else group number 4 should know about this person? Well, we have confront. So to address your challenges and problems, to stand firm in the face of conflict, to face your fears or enemy. Again, maybe this was about someone having to confront their behavior, as an example. Like you had them confronting it in some way, because then maybe they realized, when, as an example for some of you, if you weren't around them anymore, or they kind of got to look at, like, especially for those of you that kind of stuck around this person for a long time or were quite patient, they had to like kind of confront how their behaviors affected you or something like that is what I'm feeling. But that's interesting. And we have boundaries. So again, it might have been that they had to confront or make certain boundaries in how they behave because their behavior could hurt people, as an example. Or, and then maybe they didn't realize it for some of you. One more. I feel like one more. I'm just going crazy on group number 4 all the time. I just can't even help it. You guys get me all pulling cards. Anything final? Responsibility. You have to confront responsibility. Whoa! This is getting hammered home, isn't it? What do you need to take responsibility for right now? What is something you need to own up to? What needs to be reclaimed? Again, their bullshit behavior is, I think, what happened here. They had to kind of confront some of their bullshit behavior and take responsibility in some way. Maybe, again, they didn't respond when they needed to, or they didn't act in a way that was very responsible, and it's like you've made them confront that to perceive it differently. Maybe they didn't see it at the time because with that imagination clouds your judgment, it's like they couldn't really see it over all their bullshit, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. but yeah, I do feel like that's the impact you made. And in fact, like the anchor can be about stability, and it's not a bad card actually. It's not a card that weighs down. That's more like the cross in Lenormand. The anchor is more about stability and stuff like that. And maybe again that flittery energy, like it's become more stable and grounded, and they realize that they have to do that in order to engage. And again, maybe make claims or talk in a way that's stable, that's not leading someone on, as an example as well. So that is definitely what I'm getting for those of you that chose group number 4. Whoa, this was a cool reading. So I'm curious to see if you know who this is. And I feel like obviously with the lovers, if it's not a love match, then I'm color me shocked. But anyways, I wish you all the very, very best. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next reading. Like and subscribe if you want to, and just lots of love and lots of good health and happiness to you. Bye bye.